The New Mexico State-Based Assessment, or NMSBA, has caused conflict with students and teachers since it became a graduation requirement in 2012. Principal Jed Hendy believes that the initial purpose of this test is to serve as an equalizer for these students in New Mexico. The New Mexico State-Based Assessment, or NSBA, is an exam administered to sophomores, juniors, and seniors who have not passed. This is given to check the school's and students' overall stance within the state. It has recently become a graduation requirement for those high school students graduating in 2014, which has caused havoc amongst them.
So the essential question is, why is it that you have to pass the NMSBA to graduate?
Maybe you don't have the same skills as a kid in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and so they want to have some way of gauging, making sure there's some consistency around different states.
If the NMSBA is not passed, another opportunity is given to the student to pass it their senior year. If it is not passed, then there is a whole other process for what will happen. In the past, there have been tests brought in from different places like Iowa or the test from California called the CTBS, California Test of Basic Skill, that stumped the students.
It's kind of funny because I remember I was giving that test a long time ago, like 10, 15 years ago, and there was a couple of questions on there about marine life and porpoises, and the kids in New Mexico were like, why are they asking me about porpoises in New Mexico?
This state exam affects students now that it determines whether or not a student graduates. With already stressing over finals, students now carry an extra added weight on their shoulders with the NMSBA. Though it serves to let our administrators see our progress throughout the years, it should not be required for graduation. It is important, especially for the students, because it directly affects us.
You can't grade everything a kid does in a whole year in one day.
The NMSBA is necessary to show where students are on an academic level. It also shows how well a school is doing on an average. But it's unnecessary because no matter where a student lies in their education, it doesn't show what a student is capable of doing. More students are prone to the anxiety of the test, making them more likely to fail.
We surveyed 50 people about the NMSBA and their opinions on it, which consisted of 5 questions. This graph shows our results. Most people agreed that the state should change the requirements of the NMSBA, said it should not be required to graduate. It is not fair to base your high school career on just one test. It does not benefit you in any way, and the NMSBA should not be taken more than once if passed the first year. These are a couple of the students we interviewed about the exam.
I think that they should base it on the students' actual academic achievements. You know, some people might go and mess up on the test, but that doesn't mean that they shouldn't graduate.
It's not really an easy test to take, and especially when other tests are going on at the same time and you're stressed out.
Overall, this subject doesn't have a right or perfect answer to our essential question, although we have learned that there are some good outcomes from the test. It still shouldn't determine if we graduate or not. The scores are what reflects the school. It, of course, gives our school a better grade, reflects how well the students have improved and if the teachers are meeting the state standards. But according to the students and how we feel, shouldn't determine if we graduate because what's on paper doesn't necessarily mean that's all they're capable of accomplishing. You can rip a piece of paper, but you can't destroy one's mind.